Hi, well, my name is Patricia Baronowski Schneider of Pristine Advisors, and today I'm going to give you some update for PR 101. So bear with me while I look for my notes. Okay, so basically, it's more PR or media relations. So understanding what that is. Well, media relations is pretty much the relationship that you or your organization has with journalists. You want to inform the public of your business, your mission, what your practices are, and create a credible relationship with the audience, which is your potential customers. Publications is the relationship beyond the media and basically to the general public. So that's one thing that we always found was a little tricky in business, where people assume public relations is media. Well, media relations is your relationship with the media, and public relations is your relationship with the public. So you want to basically get your organization or individual exposure to the audience, topics and interests that are valuable or relevant to your business. It's pretty much more validating than basically advertising. The purpose of the media relations, again, is to build your awareness through third-party sources, create an understanding of an issue or your position in the industry, and a public image, so that people understand who you are, what you do, what your role is, and whatnot. The role of the media is to tell the story, but not necessarily tell your story. That's where the public relations comes into play. So proactive media relations, we start off with issuing press releases and pitching that to the media, and we find a lot of times the media will basically take snippets from that and not necessarily need to speak to you, but they'll take snippets from that. Case studies, of clients that you've had. So say, for example, you're an investment manager and you have case studies of people who, are invested in your company, from point A, B to C, or just basically case studies that promote you. Experts sourced for pitches. So a lot of times what we'll do is we'll ask clients, give us, 3 to 5, bullet points of what you would be an expert speaker on, so that we can pitch that to reporters who maybe aren't writing right at that moment, but then they'll say, hey, we're writing about the story. These guys are an expert. Let me contact them. Social media is actually, huge. Again, every reporter's all over social media. Some people only publish on social media nowadays. So being proactive in that is also beneficial. And editorial calendars, finding out when reporters are writing about specific, things and keeping that's where your media relations or public relations department would really be involved in, and byline articles or being a contributor and whatnot. There's also crisis media relations, which the reporter, it's initiated by a reporter that may not be favorable towards you. So then you want to have, crisis media relations to how to combat that issue. So understanding, what's in the news. Is it new? Are you the first to do this? Is it timely? Is it local? Is it unique? Understanding what the media timelines are. Online is pretty much immediate. The minute they post it, it's immediate. If you're on a radio show, sometimes it could be that day, it could be that night, it could be tomorrow, it could be next week, 2 weeks, whatever. Television, you want to find out from whoever is interviewing you what the lead times are. You have weekly newspapers, you have daily newspapers. They'll write something, but it might not show up until that. Maybe it's a monthly paper. Understanding, the news and media. You have a right to know what's being spoken about, to be treated fairly. To be quoted accurately. If they misquote you, you have a right to have that corrected. We've had people, a lot of the media are pretty good about giving you a heads up on what they're going to talk about. But if they do tell you or ask you something that you don't know, it's okay to say that I don't know. I'll get back to you on that. And do a little research, or that's what your media relations person should do. Do the research. What does this person normally write about? How reputable are they? But as your role, you're entitled or obligated to be prepared, be professional, be honest, and be upfront with them. You do not have the right to say things off the record. That would be violating Reg FD, which, as you know, regulation, federal disclosure, everything has to be done, said to the same people at all times. Sometimes reporters are pretty good about letting you review things before it goes public, but they don't have to do that. You don't have to talk about topics that you're not familiar with. If, you're an investment manager in I don't know, say Canada, and they're asking you about things in Asia that you're not familiar with, you have a right to say, sorry, that's not my beat. I'm, not my subject. And you don't have to disclose, private information about a company. That again would be violating Reg FD. Some don'ts of news media. You want to treat it as a business relationship. You the reporter, but it's personal aside. This is business. They're talking to you about your business. You want to have. They don't always give you a chance to kind of go through things initially, but sometimes they will. They'll say, okay, 10 minutes before we air, this is what we're going to talk about. Are you comfortable with this? If you have to make a phone call to get some answers, whatever the case may be. You want to, make sure that whatever you're saying is memorable and that it poses you as an expert so that you stand out amongst your competitors. And you have to respect deadlines. We've had companies who've done an interview for, say, a monthly publication, but by the time it goes through compliance, they're not getting it back to the reporter until like 6 to 8 weeks later. And that's not fair to the reporter because they can't wait for that. They could have interviewed somebody else. So just, be respectful of deadlines. And sometimes too, before doing, media, ask them what their deadlines are so that if you can and can't meet that. You don't want to keep rambling on and on and on just to fill silence. Also, you want to answer the questions, as tactful as you can be and as relevant as you can be. You don't want to speculate. If you want to give facts, I have a habit of talking too fast, but you don't want to ramble because that's not really good. And, you don't want to say, like, if you don't know something, you don't want to say that because everything, once it's in print, it's done. And also, be careful of what you say to other people because, not what you say to people, about people, because again, once it's in print, you don't want to badmouth your competitors because that could come back and bite you in the booty and you don't want that. So basically, you have an interview, you follow up with them, you be prepared for it, you follow up with them. And, a lot of times they'll give you access to whatever was printed or whatever's aired, and you can post it on your website and promote that all through social media. Again, so that kind of helps market you as well. So that's pretty much a kind of quick lowdown on what, what media relations and public relations is. And it's, it's separate from investor relations, but it's also, part of what we do. We do investor relations, public relations, media relations, marketing, social media marketing and whatnot. And they are kind of separate. So, there are some firms that will hire an investor relations company and then a public relations company and then a media relations company and then a social media relations company. And they all do play a very special role because for a company to really expand and grow, you kind of need all of that. Pristine Advisers actually happens to do all of that. So we kind of tie it into, like a full program so that clients have, they have that upper leg where you're being promoted, you're networking at events, you're sponsoring events, you're hosting events, you're attending events, you're, contributor to various publications, you're being interviewed by various publications, you're on local television or local radio or whatnot. Social media is always a tricky thing because of Reg FD, and I'm going to be doing a webinar about that next month. But, because of compliance, a lot of people are kind of dead set against social media, but it is kind of needed because everything is social media these days. And it's not that you're, I know some companies, you're not allowed to promote yourselves in essence, but you're not technically promoting yourselves if you're, just if you did a press release and you're posting it on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, you're basically complying with Reg FD because you're ensuring the whole world gets this information as it becomes available. There's ways around it. And investor relations, again, it's reaching, your investors, potential investors, investors of your peers. And if you're not a listed company, it's your customers, reaching out to, your various customers. Where are they? Who are they? Who are your competitors? Where are their customers coming from? So there's just various ways of utilizing IR, PR, media relations, marketing, social media. So that's kind of, just a little lowdown. Feel free to hit us up at www.pristineadvisers.com. And you can actually contact me at pbaronowski@pristineadvisers.com. And I look forward to hearing from you soon. Bye-bye.